Imagine feeling your brain change in an instant, thoughts speeding up, energy surging through your body, or everything slowing down, as if you were moving through honey. Every drug acts differently, yet most people have no idea what is really happening inside their minds when they use them. Today we're diving into how common substances affect your body and brain, why they create the sensations they do, how they change the brain over time, and what long-term effects you might not notice. No fear, no judgment, just clear, approachable science. Your brain communicates through chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. These molecules control everything you feel, think, and do. From the joy of listening to music to focusing on a task to responding to stress or pain, different neurotransmitters have specific roles. Dopamine signals reward and motivation. Serotonin regulates mood and appetite. GABA manages inhibition and calm. Drugs can mimic these chemicals, block them, or trigger their release in unnatural amounts. That's why their effects can feel intense, sometimes immediate, and occasionally unpredictable. Let's start with alcohol, one of the most socially accepted drugs. Alcohol slows certain brain regions while enhancing the calming effects of GABA, a neurotransmitter that reduces anxiety. At the same time, it suppresses activity in areas responsible for judgment, planning, and self-control. This explains why drinking often makes people feel relaxed, confident, or uninhibited. But too much impairs coordination, slows reflexes, and clouds decision-making. Chronic heavy use can shrink brain tissue, damage the liver, and make it harder to regulate emotions. Alcohol also interferes with sleep cycles, hormone balance, and the immune system, showing that its effects extend far beyond the immediate buzz. Nicotine works incredibly fast. Within seconds, it reaches the brain and triggers dopamine release, creating alertness, focus, and a fleeting sense of calm. But the brain adapts. Over time, it produces less dopamine naturally, so without nicotine, you may feel anxious, distracted, or restless. Nicotine also affects acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter linked to attention and memory. The result is a cycle of temporary relief and long-term dependence that's hard to break. Caffeine operates differently. It doesn't provide energy but blocks adenosine, the chemical that signals fatigue. This makes you feel awake, alert, and ready to respond quickly. In moderate amounts, caffeine can boost focus, mood, and reaction time. It may even enhance short-term memory. But excessive consumption can trigger anxiety, palpitations, restlessness, and disrupted sleep. Chronic intake can also alter the brain's baseline chemistry, requiring larger doses to achieve the same effects. Cannabis affects the endocannabinoid system, which regulates mood, memory, appetite, and perception. THC, the main psychoactive compound, alters the perception of time, enhances sensory experiences, and affects short-term memory. Some users feel calm and euphoric, while others may experience anxiety or paranoia. Long-term heavy use can impact memory and reduce motivation for certain individuals. Cannabis also has physical effects, such as increased heart rate and altered digestion. Experiences vary depending on dose, personality, and environment, making it unpredictable. Stimulants like cocaine and amphetamines sharply elevate dopamine and norepinephrine, resulting in heightened focus, energy, and confidence. The cardiovascular system is also affected, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. Once a stimulant wears off, dopamine drops sharply, leaving fatigue, irritability, or low mood. Repeated use damages the brain's reward system, dulling everyday pleasures, and creating a cycle where more is needed to feel normal. Long-term use also increases the risk of heart problems and cognitive decline. Opioids, including prescription painkillers and heroin, relieve pain by binding to receptors in the brain and spinal cord. They create a profound sense of calm, emotional relief, and sometimes detachment. But opioids also slow breathing and suppress the nervous system, which can be deadly at high doses. The brain adapts quickly, requiring higher doses to achieve the same effect. Dependence can develop rapidly, and withdrawal is often physically and psychologically intense. Chronic use can also impact hormone levels, immunity, and the digestive system. Hallucinogens like LSD or psilocybin alter communication between different brain regions, producing visual distortions, a changed sense of self, and amplified emotions. They rarely cause physical dependence, but their psychological effects can be strong. Experiences vary based on environment, dose, and mindset. Some report life-changing insights, while others encounter anxiety, confusion, or persistent perceptual shifts. Research today is exploring their therapeutic potential for depression, anxiety, and PTSD, showing promising results under controlled conditions. Even though drugs differ widely, most share a common feature. They hijack the brain's reward system. Over time, the brain adapts, changing how it responds to pleasure, motivation, and stress. This is not a moral failure. It's biology. Understanding these mechanisms allows people to make informed choices instead of reacting impulsively. It's important to remember that drugs don't just change your moment-to-moment feelings. They reshape how your brain learns, adapts, and responds to challenges. Knowledge of these processes gives you greater control over your decisions. Even small choices, like when and how to consume a substance, can have long-term effects on your health and mental state. Science isn't about judgment, it's about empowerment. By learning how different substances interact with your brain and body, you can see patterns, predict consequences, and understand why your brain reacts the way it does. This awareness doesn't remove pleasure or curiosity. It simply provides the tools to engage with substances responsibly and thoughtfully. Your biology is not your enemy, it's a guide. If this explanation helped you understand more about how drugs affect your brain, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.